Not recorded. So anyhow, no problem. I have another thing here with me. I will just record it. Okay. And what I will do is total ash number of products by this one, right? I just use this one here. And here, if I use it, it is doing the filtering correctly because I have the, this one, bidirectional relationship, right? So here I'm using the customer dimension table to filter my product dimension table, right? So in this case, what happened, since there exists a bidirectional relationship, it is working fine. So since there is a bidirectional relationship exists between these two tables, customer dimension table can filter this. Now, if I reset it to one single, what is going to happen? If I do it to single, I just say okay. Now the customer dimension cannot filter it, right? Because it's all, one-way relationship, right? So if I go here, if you see here 14, 14, 14, 14. But whereas here, if you see here the measure that I used, it number of products by customer, right? So here, what is the sales fact M? Actually, this is the one is holding not the total sales, the count, right? The count function. Don't worry, I will give you rename it with some meaningful name so that you will not get confused. Okay. And this is my working copy. I will make some changes and with appropriate, and then I'll share it with so that you will not get confused. So the total sales fact M is holding what? Total sales fact M is holding what? Count, right? So count the number of products. Okay. So in this case, what happened? I have used this measure. In this measure, I'm doing the count. How many number of occurrence of product IDs are there for each customer? So Chris, how many number of products he purchased it? And Hemal, how many number of products he purchased? That you can find out with the help of the count. Okay. Some will give you the sales amount, total sales, total profit. That is the one you can, if you want to do the totaling, you can use some, but the count will give you the number of occurrences. How many number of occurrences of the Chris name is there in the, how many number of products he purchased. That is what we wanted to see it. Chris purchased 8 products. So now, even though I have reset it back to the single, the unidirection, right? I changed from the bidirectional relationship to unidirection. Now the measure is working correctly, whereas this one is not working, obviously, because there are no direct relationship exists between these two, and also there is no communication happening from here to here, right? That is why it is not doing it. But in this measure, what I did, in this measure, I have used the calculate function. This is the one gives me the number of occurrences, the count, okay? And cross filter function, I used it. In the cross filter function, I just specified the left side column is product ID, and then the fact table product ID column. So for these two columns, for these two tables, this is the common column. We need to tell this to Power BI, okay? Using cross filter, we are telling it. If for these two tables, the common column is product ID, and you enable the direction, cross filter direction both. Either you can specify single or you can specify both. By default, it is single. So here I mentioned both. So when I specify like this, what is happening is it does the count. Okay, though there are no bidirectional relationship exists between these two tables. Now, okay. So what happens is the cross filter function programmatically, it enables the cross filter direction both. Okay, it enables it as a bidirectional relationship till this calculation is over. Once this calculation or the computation is over, the the cross filter direction will be set to any direction. You understood? That is what is happening here. The cross filter function temporarily enable the bidirectional relationship till this computation is over. Okay, once this computation is over, it will reset it back to single. That's all. Behind the scene, it is taking care of it. So why do I need to use a cross filter function? because we don't want to enable the bidirectional relationship manually like this. Okay, I just go back here and then, so what is the table now? Customer table and sales fact table, we have bidirectional relationship. I'm going to reset it back to single now, because this is not the right approach, though it works fine, but it causes performance issues. Now, this is the product dimension table, and then my customer dimension. Look here, it is not doing the cross filter. So now what I do is I just reuse the same thing here. But in this case, I need another measure. Okay, the count of product. Okay, what I do is this, I'm going to reuse it. I'm going to say I'm going to create a measure now. Now only I'm going to create a cross filter related measure. So ideally, I could have done this in one measure itself. Okay, so now what I do is since we are using calculate function, see here itself we can use it. Okay, anyhow, for you people, I'll just tell you, don't ask me then why did you waste time creating that. Anyhow, I will just show you here also, but this is not the right way of doing it. Count here and the dim customer ID and cross filter direction, where the left column is the dim customer ID, comma sales fact ID. Done. Either you can specify directly like this, or you can reuse the measure which you created it. Okay, but that is the right way of doing it. You can reuse the measure here. Usually that's how usually we do it. So now what I do is number of customers. Is perfectly showing it, right? So the cashew nut purchased by 3 customer and coffee purchased by 2 customer. Why it is showing the repeated value? Because we removed, we disabled, or we have enabled the unidirectional relationship only here, right? So that is the reason why it is. Any of this column is not helpful. You can remove it here. We can go by the measure. This is the right approach. Cross filter function. Okay. Fine. And the next one is, so hope you understood what is the purpose of using the DAX function cross filter. Using cross filter function, the DAX function, we can enable the bidirectional relationship temporarily, right? So till the computation is over, the bidirectional relationship will get enabled. Once the computation is over, it will be reset it back to the unidirection. why we are not we're supposed to enable bidirectional relationship permanently? Why are we not supposed to enable it by configuring it? Because it will cause performance issues. That's it.